Welcome to AI World TV, your go-to destination for everything artificial intelligence. Discover the captivating landscape of AI, where advanced technology finds real-life application. Subscribe to AI World TV for webzine articles, reports, podcasts, videos, live events, and latest trends. Hear from top industry leaders and discover how AI is transforming industries and our daily lives.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're looking at a breakthrough that isn't just about making AI a little bit better. It feels like it's about fundamentally changing how we interact with computers, period.
Yeah.
We are diving deep into Google's Gemini 3 Pro and what makes this launch, I think, a real turning point.
It is, and it's absolutely necessary to set the stage here. For you, the listener, you have to understand this. Past AI models, they were all about static outputs.
Right. A chatbot.
A fancy chatbot. You asked a question, you got a block of text back. Gemini 3 Pro is being positioned as something else entirely, an on-demand adaptive computing interface. It completely transcends that old model.
And that's the core of our mission today. We really need to unpack why this has moved past the chatbot paradigm. The biggest innovation isn't just speed, it's construction.
Yes.
The main thing we're looking at is the ability to just fluidly generate personalized functional user interfaces and applications in real time. It's not answering your question with text. It's building the tool you need to explore the answer.
So what we're really talking about here is the AI transforming these passive actions like, reading or planning into fully interactive, customized visual experiences. It's a massive, massive jump in utility.
Okay, so we've broken this down into 4 key areas. First, the massive context window that gives it this unbelievable memory. Then, the revolutionary generative interfaces visual layout and dynamic view.
Which is the really wild part.
It is.
Yeah.
Then we'll look at the state-of-the-art benchmarks that can prove its power, and finally, the enhanced agentic capabilities that let it automate these really complex workflows. Let's start with the foundation, because none of this is possible without just massive capacity.
Indeed, the engine of this entire shift is rough scale.
Right. Part 1. The context revolution, or as we're calling it, deep thinking at scale. We are talking about a 1 million token context window in the Pro tier.
Which is just a huge number.
It is. It's an abstract number to most people, but for a professional, this is probably the single biggest unlock in productivity we've seen.
1 million tokens lets the model process and, crucially, maintain comprehension over an immense volume of data all at once. I mean, think of it this way. A big textbook might be, 100,000 tokens?
Something like that.
So this model can analyze a stack of 10 of those, maybe 1,500 pages of text, in a single go, and it doesn't forget the details from page 1 by the time it gets to the end.
Okay, let's really unpack that. For you listening, what does 1 million tokens actually let you do in one query that was impossible before? I mean, before you had to manually break up huge documents, right? You had to chunk them.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And the sources give us some really concrete examples of how this just eliminates that constraint. For a developer, you can upload an entire code base. We're talking 30, maybe 40,000 lines of code, the whole thing. And then you ask for a full dependency analysis, a summary of all the errors, or even complex refactoring ideas across all the files at once. The time saved there is just, it's staggering.
I mean, that used to take days of specialized tooling and debugging, or at the very least, hours of intense context switching. Now it's one request.
And the same applies in these other high-stakes fields, like legal or finance. A professional can upload an entire year's worth of quarterly earnings reports.
Wow.
Or massive legal contracts for a merger. The AI can then perform this cross-document synthesis to summarize complex financial risks or spot liabilities buried across, 10 different exhibits. It's doing instant deep diligence that older models would just choke on.
So the why here is really about enhanced reasoning. It's not just holding data, it's holding the nuanced details, which lets it draw much more sophisticated conclusions. It's a quality of analysis problem, not just quantity.
It is. But that does bring up a pretty critical question. When you're dealing with that much data, doesn't feeding it a massive data lake increase the risk of it, blending context or just making stuff up?
That's a great point. And the sources suggest that because the model architecture is so optimized for this high context, its internal retrieval is just more robust. I mean, the ability to do the agentic task we'll talk about later implies it has to be confident about what it's reading.
Right.
The scale of the input demands a totally different architecture to stop the AI from, like you said, getting lost in the details.
And that deep thinking scale is absolutely essential for what we're calling part 2, generative interfaces. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. This is the breakthrough that changes the user experience entirely.
I am still trying to wrap my head around this idea that I ask a question, and the answer is literally a coded application.
Yeah.
The AI stops handing you text and starts handing you a functional, visual thing that's tailored exactly to your prompt.
Exactly. And these generative interfaces, they come in two flavors, visual layout and dynamic view. Both of them leverage the model's agentic coding capabilities. So the AI is actually writing the code for a functioning front end right there on the fly.
Okay, let's start with visual layout. This is the more straightforward one, but it's still pretty revolutionary. The magazine view, we can call it. How does this work?
So visual layout takes complex, unstructured info, like a planning prompt, and it organizes it into this immersive, visually rich structure. It's not just formatting text, it's rendering a genuinely appealing, browsable response.
The road trip example in the sources illustrates this perfectly. If I prompt it, help me plan a 3-day trip to Rome next summer, focusing on art and food, what do I get?
You don't get a bulleted list. Instead, you get an interface that looks like a high-end travel website. It's got high-res photos, these clear, tappable modules for day 1, day 2, and it embeds relevant search results for flights or restaurant reviews directly into the itinerary.
So it turns planning from reading into an actual interaction.
Immediately. But the real leap, the thing that might just eliminate the need for so many single-purpose apps, is Dynamic View, the interactive app.
This uses that agentic coding capability we mentioned.
Right. Dynamic View goes a massive step further. This is where the AI literally designs and codes a custom interactive interface based on your request. It executes the code right then and there. This could just obliterate the App Store barrier for a million single-use tasks.
That is the crucial advantage.
Yeah.
Tell us about the educational example, the science one.
It's transformative. If you ask for a demonstration of how RNA polymerase works, old AIs give you this dense, static block of text.
A Wikipedia article.
Basically, Dynamic View, on the other hand, generates an animated, interactive simulation. You can click to step through transcription, zoom into diagrams of the DNA, and see on-screen explanations update in real time as you play with it.
So it just built a custom science lab for me based on my question.
Exactly. Or the culture example, asking for a Van Gogh gallery with life context for each piece. The AI generates a custom scrollable web-like gallery. It links high-res images of the paintings to biographical info about what was happening in his life when he painted them. It provides this highly contextual exploration that before would have needed, a dedicated developer and a graphic designer.
If you connect this to the bigger picture, this feels like a preview of a world where applications are just instant. They're ephemeral, they're perfectly tailored. You don't wait for a developer to solve your problem anymore. The AI solves it by creating the interface you need.
It completely changes the definition of a solution. It's not a static file anymore, it's a dynamic experience.
Okay, let's move on to part 3. The agentic leap and ecosystem integration. So building an interface is one thing, but taking action.
You are listening to the AI World Podcast, your trusted source for the latest innovations, insights, and trends in artificial intelligence, blockchain, fintech, and decentralized technologies. Each episode features expert interviews, engaging discussions, and in-depth analysis of how AI transforms industries worldwide. Stay ahead of the curve with the latest articles and exclusive reports from the AI World Journal, covering everything from emerging technologies to industry breakthroughs. For more news, global events, and access to AI World Society Circle gatherings, visit us at aiworld.tv. Don't forget to subscribe to stay informed, stay connected, and be part of the AI revolution with AI World Lounge. Thank you for listening.
Is another. We're moving beyond single-turn tasks to the Gemini agent, which is designed to orchestrate these complex, multi-step actions across integrated services, especially Google Workspace.
Right, these are what are called long horizon tasks. You can think of the Gemini agent as like an orchestra conductor. It knows exactly which specialized tool or API to call on for each specific task instead of trying to play every instrument itself. It chains multiple tools together.
Deep research, live browsing,
and internal APIs to connect things like your calendar and your Gmail all seamlessly.
This is all about automating entire workflows, not just one click at a time. The complex booking example from the sources really drives this home.
It really does. The user prompt is incredibly complex. It's organize a trip to London next month. find the dates from my calendar, compare 3 hotel options near the British Museum under $200 a night, and draft an email to my manager for approval.
So that's, what, at least 5 distinct steps across 4 different domains?
Minimum.
Checking the calendar, browsing hotel data, filtering by price and location, integrating with an email client, and then drafting the email. All handled by one agent.
Yes. And the key insight here is that the agent executes all those initial steps on its own. It gathers all the context. It only pauses and asks for your explicit confirmation before it does something irreversible, like actually sending the email or booking the room.
And that's the crucial safety rail.
Exactly. This integration of planning, execution, and safety is what makes it so powerful. It's the difference between a helpful assistant and a truly autonomous orchestrator.
If it can handle my calendar, email, and travel in one go, the productivity gains for someone dealing with heavy scheduling are just hard to overstate.
And it scales down to everyday tasks, too. The agent can prioritize and categorize thousands of emails, draft context-aware replies for you to review, or pull key data points from attachments and drop them into a summary. It's taking over the complex admin of your digital life.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's look at the proof. Part 4, benchmark performance. We need to see the raw data that confirms this intellectual power is, legitimate.
Absolutely, and the metrics do confirm it. The model is setting new state-of-the-art records across a whole spectrum of really high difficulty benchmarks. These numbers show the intellectual leap required to enable all the things we just talked about.
Let's call out some specifics. In scientific knowledge, the GPQA Diamond benchmark, it comes in at 91.9%. That is a massive score.
It is, and that directly relates to that long context. To score that high, the model has to maintain a deep, nuanced understanding across thousands of data points, just like it does when analyzing those legal or scientific documents.
And we also see the proof of its coding ability, which is so critical for dynamic view, right?
Precisely. Its superior performance in competitive coding and fixing real-world software bugs is reflected in its Live Code Bench Pro score of 2,439. That high coding score is the engine that lets Dynamic View write those custom apps on the fly. It proves the agent can build complex things reliably.
So let's talk business. If a developer or a company wants to start building with this, how do they access it? And what does the pricing look like for using this immense capacity?
So Gemini 3 Pro is immediately available to developers through the Gemini API in Google AI Studio and Vertex AI. And Google is being pretty transparent with a tiered pricing structure that's based directly on how much of the context window you use.
Okay, so they're explicitly charging a premium for that deep 1 million token memory. That makes sense.
That seems to be the strategy. For standard use, anything up to 200,000 tokens, the pricing is very competitive. It's $2 for input and $12 for output per million tokens. But if you use the full long context capability, over 200K tokens, the price reflects that premium effort. $4 for input and $18 for output.
That tiered structure makes perfect sense.
Absolutely.
If you're doing high-stakes legal analysis or a full code-based review where that million-token memory is indispensable, the value you get far outweighs that premium cost.
It sort of democratizes access for general use while ensuring that the really heavy-lifting tasks, which consume huge resources, are priced appropriately. It's a very logical consumption-based model.
So let's bring it all together. For you, the listener, I think the key takeaway is that Gemini 3 Pro is not just a marginal improvement. It fundamentally changes the user experience. It shifts the entire focus from what text can the AI produce to what can the AI build for me right now.
Yeah.
For power users, developers, researchers dealing with those huge complex data sets, it really feels like a mandatory upgrade.
This raises a really important question that we have to consider as this tech rolls out. If the AI is capable of just conjuring a fully interactive custom UI, a completely bespoke application on the fly, then we've moved beyond being constrained by pre-built apps.
The interface itself just becomes ephemeral. It's created and then discarded with every query.
Yes. So how will we judge the quality or even the truth of information when the interface itself disappears and is replaced by something instantly generated and perfectly tailored to that moment, maybe even tailored to your biases? This is the clearest path yet toward a world where the interface adapts completely to you and not the other way around. And that adaptability, that's the next great frontier.
The future of artificial intelligence is unfolding, and it's happening at AI World Week, the flagship global event for innovation, collaboration, and transformation. This flagship global AI event is designed to connect visionary leaders, trailblazing entrepreneurs, and influential thinkers to explore the endless possibilities of AI. Experience groundbreaking technology that redefines industries and inspires progress. Join thought-provoking discussions on ethical AI, digital equity, and the transformative role of technology in our world. Build meaningful connections that catalyze innovation and drive impact. AI World Week is powered by AI World Society, a global movement dedicated to advancing AI responsibly and ensuring it serves humanity. Together, we're shaping a smarter, more inclusive, and equitable future. Continue your journey beyond the event with the AI World Journal, offering expert insights, in-depth analysis, and the latest trends shaping the AI landscape. This is your opportunity to lead, to innovate, and to transform the world with AI. AI World Week. We invite you to join us and embrace the AI revolution.